Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and lead instructor for CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record live at 2 p.m. Eastern Time every Monday. If you enjoy this video, hit that like button, and if you want to submit to be on the show, take a look at the information in the description.
So I got a hand from a 10-10-20 game,
Okay.
three blind game.
Yep.
So there's two limps in the field, and then it's folded to hero in a small blind with ace of clubs, ace of diamonds.
Okay.
So I make it 110.
There's two limps in the field at 10-10-20. Is
Yeah.
this the Parks? Is this the Parks Tuesday game or whatever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was a Saturday, not a Tuesday, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
And this hand I think is like about two and a half K effective.
Okay, so two limpers
with the main villain.
All right, so two limpers folded to you in the small blind with ace of clubs,
Right.
ace of diamonds. Okay, yep.
Right. Make it 110. Folded to the third blind, who's the main villain, who's a very, very big dunk. I look pretty clueless and possibly high or inebriated or something like that, but already stuck a buy-in, so very big spot. He calls.
Okay, so straddle calls.
Right.
Okay.
And this was like a mandatory straddle, so just
Sure.
right. So flop comes down. So flop pot's like 270. Flop is king of spades, seven of spades, six of diamonds.
So your head's up, right? So two limps,
Yeah,
you make
heads
it.
up. Yes.
You make it. What did you say? You made it 120
110.
or 110.
110.
110. Straddle calls. Your head's up. So you're out of position. 270, and then the flop comes out king of spades, seven of spades, six of diamonds, right?
Right.
Okay.
So hero bets out 150.
This guy's a donk, you said, right?
Yeah, like very big spot.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's fine. You might even go, well, 115 to 270. Okay, so it's like 60% pot, something like that. So you bet 150. Okay.
Right. Like he's not folding like a pair.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
Right. So I don't have to worry about like having him fold a seven. So that he's still calling. So 150 he calls.
Okay.
Turn, pot's 570, six of hearts.
Oh, that's a great card for you, right? So king of spades,
Yeah,
seven of spades, six of diamonds, turns to six of hearts. Pot is
Right.
570, right? Yep.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I figured, obviously I'm putting him on a king most likely. I mean, it could be anything but on a
Now
king.
let me stop you for a second here, Gene, because I'm looking at something here on paper. So, and this comes up, and it's rare, but would you ever consider check raising the turn here? Because if he's gonna bet off his kings, bet some of his bluffs, and he's gonna bet call kings. I'm just trying to think about the way to get the most amount of money in here, right? Like even if you were to go like 500 into 570, and then he called, like you're gonna have like 1900 left, and the pot's gonna be like 1570. So unless you shove at the end, it's hard to get all the money in. Against this type of guy, it just seems like they're never going to. A lot of these guys aren't going to check back a king. Like a six looks like a very innocent card, right? So when you check, it kind of looks like you're giving up. A lot of guys will fire, even if he's like floating with some sort of bullshit. He's going to bet call with the king. It's just a way to get some more money, and I don't know if you considered it.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. The thing is, like, he was just super loose passive. Like, he wasn't very aggressive, so he was just calling everything. And obviously there's a lot of draws there as well. I mean, most likely he's got a king, but obviously can have any spades or some gut shots, I guess, some straight draws, and like can have a garbage like king deuce, which I don't know. Like, I didn't want him to check back like a king deuce, and then like it's going to be very hard. Not only to get the stacks in, but just I'm going to lose like a lot of value.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to call the river, but so I just didn't want to, give him a chance to check especially because I'm out of position, so I just didn't want to give him a chance to check back something.
Yeah.
So I decided to bet, and as you can see, kind of on the larger side. Um, but yeah, I thought the six was a great card because obviously now if he's got some kind of like a king
Sure.
something that he's drawing almost dead,
Sure.
right? So I bet 350,
Okay.
and he calls again pretty quickly.
So now the pot is 1270, right?
1270, right? And the river comes 10 of hearts.
So the river is the 10 of hearts. So it's king of spades, 7 of spades, 6 of diamonds. You bet 150 into 270. He calls, pot's 570. This is small blind versus straddle after 2 limps. And you've got ace of clubs, ace of diamonds. Turn is the
Right.
6 of hearts, king 7, 6, 6, front door spades. You bet 350. He calls. Pot's
calls.
now
Right.
1270.
70,
And you've
right.
got probably maybe 1900 left, so about a pot and a half size
Right.
bet left. Now the river's a 10, which obviously brings in 8-9, right? You
Yeah.
beat king 10, right?
Yep.
And I mean, there's a couple things that you're losing to, where if he's slow playing off, like, if he was slow playing something on the flop like pocket sevens, doesn't feel like he needs to raise the turn, you're losing to 8-9, and then you're possibly losing to a 6 that he just calls here with as well. Obviously, Gene, with your description of this guy, I am 100% betting, because it sounds to me like he has all the offsuit kings, right? All the offsuit king 10 pluses, right? As a defend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I mean,
just
absolutely.
you have to bet here for value for sure.
Right. So mainly my question was on the river. I just wanted to ask you. So yeah, I mean betting, but how much are we betting? And what's the plan?
Man, I think that I might bet. Let's see here. So this is an interesting one because it's hard to quantify. When I say, like, sometimes I like to bet the maximum amount that I feel like is gonna get called by my opponent's, like, range, like king X, which is what we're targeting, but also leave ourselves possibly with an escape hatch here, where if he jams on us, we could actually fold, although sometimes guys wouldn't even jam here with 8-9. So here, you've got, like we said, about 1900 left in your stack. So if you were to bet 800 here in a 1270, and he jammed on you, that's 2870, you would have, what did I say? So it'd be like 3900, like 1100 for you to call. I honestly think you can go 700-800 fold here. Pot's 1270, I might go 700-800, and if he jams on me, you can call me exploitative, but I might fold. You've shown a ton of strength, and there's quite a few hands that you lose to out here. Now people might say, well, Bart, if you're folding this, then you're folding everything. Yes, like if you were to look at equilibrium, if you were to bet this river, it would probably be a bet call. But especially, well, I mean, you don't have the ace of spades. I don't know if the nut flush draw is supposed to be turning a hand into a bluff, but I like a hefty 2/3 to 3/4, 2/3 bet with the intention of really bet folding here, 700-800, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the fact that, like I said, I mean, the guy was obviously like really, really bad, but also, I think he was not, he was probably high, to be honest, the way he looked. I mean, I'm not even joking. Like he looked like he wasn't all there, and just, I mean, I'm talking about not a bad player, but just like clueless. So like, can we really fold? I mean,
well, I mean, that's one of these things. I mean, if you were to ask me my experience in live poker, and when you're up against one of these types of guys, like usually they're not going to be. I mean, you're showing so much strength. Like it's crazy to to go. I mean, 150, 350, 800 for him to have a bluff raising range here. You got to find the bluff, right? Like you'd have to have miss spades.
Yeah, I guess I'm talking more like bluff. I don't think he would bluff at it.
Right.
But more like overvalue something that we're beating, like King 10, for example.
Do you really think that he's gonna jam? Do you really think he's gonna jam King 10 if you bet 800 here at the end?
Well, that's the question. I mean, would he, or even like King Queen, because it's top pair. I mean,
Gene, we're going down a rabbit hole here. King Queen, come on, 800. He's gonna jam King Queen on the river? I mean, if that's the case, then this is a special type of guy. What did you do here at the end?
All right. Well, I bet pretty much close to what you suggest. I bet 850.
Okay.
Yeah, and he jammed.
Of course, I did. By the way, I didn't know. I
Of
didn't know
course.
that.
Yeah,
Straddle
I didn't give
jams.
you any river specifically.
So wait a minute.
Yeah, he
So
jammed.
let's just do some math out here. So again, I mean, you've got it. So we're dealing with about 1900 left on the river. You bet 850 into like 1270. So that's
Right.
21, and then let's 2950. It's like 4,000, like 1,000 for you to call, right? Something like that.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
like
about?
um. Let's see. So it's 12, 11 to 21. Yeah.
3,900, 1,100 to call. You started with 2.5K, right? So that'd be 5,000 total. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean
right.
that's
It's
about
almost
right.
four to
Yeah,
one. It's
yeah.
like almost
I
4 to 1.
mean, it just I listen, like it probably can't be that bad to call, but I just feel like when you add more money here, though, this is not only do you want to bet here to get more value from King X, but it just decreases your bluffing frequency. I feel like your opponent's bluffing frequency quite a bit too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right. No, for
just
sure. I mean, I didn't think he would be bluffing,
yeah.
even though I don't have the ace of spades. But yeah, I didn't think so. So I tanked for a while. So I tell you what happened. I tanked for a while, and I ended up calling because I just figured that there's with this particular guy, and I know it's kind of a live dynamic thing and a player specific thing, but I figured that he might be just clueless enough to do it with like a king 10 or something.
Mm-hmm.
But he had 9-6 of clubs.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, so he's got trip sixes. So
Yeah.
that's the other concerning thing. I just think that like there's a lot of hands that actually make sense that you lose to. Slow played seven, slow played a six on turn, and then rivering like tens. You know what I'm saying? Like an 8-9 too, right? I mean, it's not
Right.
like the board's like king deuce deuce, you know, king deuce deuce 6-3 rainbow, where it's like, oh, he's only, you know what I mean? It's just like there's quite a few hands that that are out there. I just think that you need to find a sweet spot where you're trying to get enough value, but you don't pot commit yourself. Like if you had bet 600 and he had jammed, would you have folded?
Well, that's part of the reason why I wanted to ask you, like exactly, like I felt like I have to bet, but I wanted to ask you how much because like you said, like you want to bet hefty, right, to get value, but then like, and I did, but I'm now getting 4 to 1, and this is why I was thinking about it after, like yeah, like maybe I should have folded, but then should I have just bet less to then be able to kind of fold easier, because then it would have been kind of less likely that he's
Yeah, well, I mean that's the great dance. I just think that against this particular thing, I think you're going a little bit too extreme when you're saying he's going to shove for value with worse. I don't see him shoving for value with worse, and if I can't find bluffs, then I might make a crazy fold there. But anyways,
all right.
Gene, as always, I appreciate it. Thanks for the call. If you like what you've seen here, please hit the subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this call in hand, hit the like button down below. To check out crushlivepoker.com, click on the link in the description. Use the code YTA300 to get the first 30 days for free.